Dennis, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me.
Of course.
Got to know you really well over the last 2.5 years, and you've shared a ton of advice with me, and you've been pivotal in growing our agency over the last 15 years. So I figured you got 2 months left. You're almost to the finish line. You got retirement right around the corner. Figured I would pick your brain a little bit and see if you could leave us with a few pieces of words of wisdom.
I'll do my best.
I know you will. Let's start at the top. How did you get into the world of insurance?
My father was in the insurance business, and he was managing an agency in D.C. at the time I was in college, and he had a job lined up for me to go into sales. But he passed about 2 weeks before I graduated, so that kind of put the whole insurance thing on hold there. But then a friend of mine who was in the insurance business worked for his dad, and he encouraged me to come work for him. He needed salespeople, and I kind of asked him, from the standpoint of cold calling, where does the insurance guy fit in, say, between the lawyer and the accountant? And he said, you're just below the accountant and just above the attorney. So to make of that as you will.
I don't know. I tend to find that people don't really love talking to their insurance agents when they pick up the phone.
No, especially on cold calls, unless you just happen to catch them at the right time.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of how I got into it, and I worked with him for 5 years, and then moved into the insurance/banking world. Right after some of the regulations had just changed, and I worked through 3 mergers, and that was about 10 years of my career. Very interesting, learned a lot along the way. But then the opportunity came up to work with HWP, and I chose to go that route and haven't looked back. And spent 15 years here at HWP, so half of my professional career really has been working here.
And throughout that career, that 30-year career, what are you most proud of? What are some of the things that you're most proud of?
My relationships with my clients. Many of those have kind of spilled over into my personal life. There will be a handful of people that I'll gladly stay in touch with to play golf or go get a beer or something like that. But it's kind of cool to make friends while you're working.
Yeah. And those relationships, as somebody from the outside looking in, that's learned a lot from you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I notice is that you have some of the tightest relationships with your clients that I've seen in the industry, or in fact in any other industry. How do you develop those type and cultivate those type of relationships with your clients?
Well, you got to have people that are willing to listen to what you bring to the table. It's kind of hard in the beginning because when you're new in the business, you don't have the experience, and whether you like it or not, that's reflected. As you grow in the business and learn more, work with different types of businesses and their risk management issues, you soak up that information and you pass it along to your current clients and your new clients. And that's one of the best ways of getting your foot in the door.
What are some of the qualities that somebody needs to be successful? There's a lot of facets of the industry. You could be an underwriter. You could be an account manager. We have some of the greatest account managers I've seen. But from a sales perspective, what qualities do you need to be successful in insurance, or really any other type of sales?
Well, I've had the opportunity to work with a couple of people that were new to the business. And not everybody's going to be successful doing this, just like any career. You've got to really want to do it. You've got to have the willingness to dive into the business and learn it, as well as to be able to convey it in a way that you can sell it to a new client and bring them on. They've got to be willing to study. They've got to be willing to. You got to put in full days, especially the first 5 years. That's really the toughest part. After 5 years, you're going to know whether or not you want to keep doing this or not. But if it turns out, like I did, things really start to gain traction. And I mean, let's face it, winning is fun. And that's really what it's all about. It's about winning, but you don't win at all costs. You got to make sure what you're doing is right for the client that you're trying to bring on. And when you develop their trust and they have faith in you and they can call you anytime, that's how it gets going. I think a person who's new in sales in this business has to be prepared to spend some time in the evening networking. Very important. They've got to be able to learn about marketing themselves in letter writing campaigns. Any way that they can reach out, whether it's through social media, phone calling, letters, knocking on doors. That was one of my favorite things to do, is to go hit doors and see people in person. Yeah.
It's kind of a lost art, isn't it?
It is. And, a lot of times these days, the problem you run into is you have to visit a lot of doors to be able to see somebody. Before, the big problem was you get the door and you get it slammed into your face, and you get chased out.
People didn't want to talk to you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Trust me, it happens. But you just gotta develop a tough skin, be persistent. And one thing I do like to tell new salespeople is that the activity that you generate on any given day isn't necessarily what's going to turn into a success for you that day. So the calls that you make from 90 days ago are the ones that might be what starts to bring business in the door. So it's a process. It's a long process. Sometimes it takes years.
Right.
But if it's worth it to you and you think you can build that relationship, it's fun. And you work with somebody, calling them, taking them to lunch, playing golf with them. It could be somebody who you met as a complete stranger, or it could be a friend that you just haven't convinced them yet to leave their insurance relationship that they've had for 10, 15 years. But it's a beautiful thing when it finally comes around. And I'd be crazy if I told you that it wasn't about the money, because the money definitely plays in there. So if you take those traits and qualities and hard work and effort and put it in, you will benefit financially.
Yeah.
And that's huge right there.
Yeah. Well, there's you get out of it what you put into it, right?
Yeah,
It's sales in any industry, whether it's insurance or pest control or even the construction industry. It's you're going to get out of it exactly what you put into it. It's one of the few careers where you know exactly where you stand.
Well, you learn a lot along the way
Yeah.
about the industries of the people you're talking with, and that's information that you can pass along to maybe other clients that you have that are similar, or help you develop that industry further into your book.
Right.
It's pretty cool to watch it happen.
Yeah. Now I've noticed that the skills that you're talking about when you're trying to open the door, right? When you're trying to win new clients and go through the cold calling and the door knocking and the email campaigns, whatever it may be, the qualities that you need for that are a little bit different than the qualities that you might need to maintain the relationships once you get them, or make sure that you're doing what you said you're going to do for your clients. Because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're protecting businesses, right? So how has the landscape and the role of an insurance broker changed over the last 30 years? What have you seen?
Well, mostly what I've noticed is since COVID, the whole thing of working away from the office, it really kind of screwed things up.
Yeah.
If you had established a good book of business and a base prior to that, you probably survived it because you knew how to get where you're there. It's hard to go out and see people in person. You know, whether it be a cold call or getting an appointment, sometimes it was just hard to get a face-to-face meeting. You had a lot of younger people coming in, you know, with technology businesses and so forth. They like to do everything on Zoom. It's kind of a way of life now, whether you like it or not. My favorite thing is still, you know, going out to meet with a client in person, talk to them about their renewal, and you know, go from there. And then, you know, whether you socialize with them or not. But that's the biggest change that I saw, was that the communication became tough. It became very hard to reach people. And it's still challenging, but you know, there's things that have come along with social media, for example, that's helped a lot of people. And some people are going to be more successful using platforms like that. I'm kind of old school, which is why I'm retiring. But you know, I liked picking up the phone, and I like to go to see people in person. That was kind of my deal. So that's the biggest change that I've seen.
Now the fun stuff. What are you looking forward to most about retirement?
Being retired.
Not having to see me every day.
Nah. Yeah. Well, you know what I will miss is our boss, Mike. He's a lot of fun, but even now, you know, as he's getting seasoned,
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, he's spending more time doing higher level stuff. He still, you know, sells like everybody else. But one of the things I've told a couple of our new salespeople, that the best way to impress the boss is go buy yourself a new car, or go buy yourself a house, something that's going to be a burden on your checkbook, because then it helps to motivate you to work.
Yeah.
And I did both. I bought a Camaro convertible and a townhouse, and all of a sudden everything started getting better.
I don't know if I've ever gotten that piece of advice before. I'll make sure I tell my girlfriend that that's why I bought the new sports car.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it was funny because I'd come show him, hey, look, I got a dog. And he'd look at me like, oh boy, you're going to have to work hard now.
Yeah. Well, great. Well, we're really going to miss you at HWP.
I'll miss you guys too.
And like I said,
I'll be back to visit.
I know you will. You'll be haunting us.
Yeah, only going to be 2 hours away.
No, but in all seriousness, we really are going to miss you, and you've been instrumental in the growth of the company. And we would not be where we are today, and I certainly wouldn't be where I am today without you.
Well,
So,
I appreciate that. I think that you're being overly generous, but I do
It's not
appreciate it.
well, thank you, Dennis.